Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to my channel. If you're watching this video, excuse me, you are landed at the right place. You're landed at the place for healing. You're at Empathically Rising, or maybe you're watching this on my TikTok. Either way, I'm happy to have you. I want to do some housekeeping before I go any further. If you come into this space, come in with intentional kindness and compassion. I am happy to have you in this space. I'm happy for all of my subscribers. If this video in some way resonates with you, please like, share, and most importantly, please subscribe. I'm really happy with the direction of my channel. So I wanted to take some time out this beautiful morning. I'm up early. I had virtual court today, so I'm lawyering from home. And I wanted to have some coffee with you guys, and have a quick chat. Let's discuss, being on your healing journey. And, I've been, 6 months out of my marriage, almost 6 months, and maybe 1 week or a week and a half divorced. And my relationship was a trauma. And I want to what did I want to discuss? I really didn't have an idea on mine. It kind of comes to me when I hop in, but I do want to talk about how a relationship can definitely be a trauma. Trauma is defined by the person who experiences it. So one of the things you want to be careful of doing is minimizing someone else's experience or invalidating it. And why I want to touch on this, when I tell a lot of people, or not a lot, I'm not walking around talking to a lot of people, but when I share my experience that I was in an abusive relationship, one of the most damaging things I've heard is, well, there's two sides to every story. That is probably one of the most invalidating things you can say to someone who is surviving narcissistic abuse. I don't know any abuser that's going to say, hey, I'm an abuser. There's very few. I'm an abuser. I harmed this person emotionally and verbally, and I did it covertly so no one else would know. The campaign of the narcissist from the time you get with them is to invalidate your experiences. And they're doing that with folks around you. They're continually controlling the narrative. So that the person that they present to others is not the person that you're involved with. The person you're in a relationship with is not even the person that you met. So the two sides to every story narrative is really damaging, because now you find yourself in a position of trying to prove that you were definitely in something that was abusive and toxic, and devaluing your experience as a human, your human experience in this life. There were many times that I felt like I was going out of my mind. Like, is this gaslighting? Is this manipulating? I'm having a conversation with my ex-partner, and all of a sudden they're like, I didn't say anything about you being homeless. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about being homeless. Oh, yes, you did. You just don't remember it. Right? Always having to constantly prove yourself. And what I did is I abbreviated my life so that I wouldn't have to be blamed or accused of things that I knew I didn't do, or wasn't sure if I did it. So what I mean by abbreviating my life, I'm already extremely neat, but I became super hyper neat, a minimalist, so that, there was no way I could be blamed for things that, I was being blamed for. I became abbreviated in my responses, so that if I say less to my partner, they can't say I'm having an attitude, or I started trouble, or I'm being dramatic. So those are things that happen in the confines and the intimacy of your relationship that cause a trauma, right? Being mistrusted or not believed is a trauma. And you'll find that you may have a trigger response. That may be a trigger for you. You have to learn how to control it. You have to learn to control or manage your triggers, because you're responsible for your triggers. But the more salient point I'm making here is trying to prove yourself to others that you've experienced this and that it was damaging to you is, I believe, another trauma. I know it's another trauma. I was in therapy while in my partnership, my marriage, because I felt like I needed to fix me. Obviously, there's something wrong with me because my partner told me day in and day out, you have anxiety, how you are, how you are. And so I felt like it was a perfect triangulation with that he did this, because at the same time I was working as a teacher while waiting my law license. And teaching can be an invalidating experience, particularly from the parents. So I also was hearing what he was saying echoed in perhaps a toxic work environment that wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't for me. So I felt like my environment aligned with what he was saying. So obviously I'm wrong. So I went into therapy to say, I'd always been into therapy, but now the mission of my therapy changed from me seeking to kind of make peace with some things from my past that had harmed me, to me trying to fix myself. And in fact, when I would be crying and begging, I'd be like, I'll be good. I'll be better. Can't you see I'm good? That I'm turning down a call that just came on my phone. After a while, I started to touch on my environment. Oftentimes I will say this to folks, and I heard it before. It didn't come from me. Don't ask why the fish are floating at the top of the tank, but ask, what is the temperature of the water? And I finally had a therapist that asked me, what's the temperature of my water, right? And I just said, where I live at is hostile. If I set a boundary, that's a problem. If I don't have a boundary, that's a problem. And it wasn't until about 2 months ago, when I was crying, that the therapist said to me, I believe you. So I didn't feel like in therapy I was seeking to fix myself or prove myself. Just hearing someone say, I believe you, was validating. And it's helped tremendously with my healing. To be validated, to be believed, to be seen, that's empowering. That is what I try to do in my work, is empower people, give people visibility, and at the same time holding people accountable. Invalidation is not taking away accountability, but being able to be seen and to be heard. And also being told, I don't have to carry this burden, this weight, has been incredibly validating. I like to share my journey with people, particularly women. I want to be specific, because I have a lot of women who believe it's too late, or that they can never get out of your situation. One of the greatest tricks of the narcissist is you become convinced that you can exist outside their perimeter. But you can. I am quite beautifully. I am actually surprised at the progress that I've made, because I never thought that I would be here. I don't really remember the woman I was before that relationship, but I guess I'm seeing a glimpse of who I was coming back to me, reacquainting myself with my likes, my loves, and my distastes. Entertaining romance. These are all so beneficial. And beginning to recognize that I am such a beautiful creature, such a beautiful human, and I have so much more to offer. And the more that I recognize myself and are reintroduced to myself, the rumination is lessening, because when you first leave the relationship, that's all that's in your head, is trying to make sense of it. I think I've made about as much sense of it that I can, and now I want to hold myself accountable on how I entered into this. Why was I so willing to give up my power and let another person's voice rule me? Why did his new supply matter to me so much? It doesn't say anything about me. I am often surprised by the sheer capability for human beings to be ugly towards one another. That's what I will say about that. But I want to encourage you. Please keep tuning in. Please keep watching my videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. I upload shorts just about every day, but not so many long videos like I am today. Like I have, I did one yesterday and I did one today. Like I said, I like to post when it's impactful, just not to post just to be yapping my gums. Thank you for coming in and joining me and listening to my experience. If it resonates with you, once again, please like, share, and subscribe. My name is 𝐘𝐨𝐮𝐫. You can find me on TikTok at A Furious Blossoming, which is also the name of my blog is A Furious Urging. The links are shared on my TikTok, and my Instagram is Empathically Rising, the same as my YouTube. Thank you so much for sharing a little coffee with me. Let me get that link off now. Sharing my coffee with me. Yesterday, I think I uploaded a video on my camera. It wasn't quite as clear as it is now. So y'all got me live and in full focus today. Have a blessed day. Namaste. I see the God in you. I hope you see the God in me. Until next time, stay positive and keep healing. Bye.